Hey everyone, how's it going? Five Finger Shuffle back here with another video. Today what I want to do is talk to you about the Raid Queen. So the Raid Queen, we already did it last week. Last week we showed you guys how to do kind of like the slower way of the two. And this week I got another shot at it and we did the faster way. So the plan here, instead of trying to nuke down all four of the ads, we're gonna leave everybody alive and we're gonna arc you down the boss. So in order to do that, we have to do the same thing as normal. We have to just hit the invulnerability instead of poking the queen until Angelica gets her turn. Angelica puts up immunity, and then next turn we hit the queen, which hatches the first pair of eggs. So here we go. She hits the queen goes, hatches the first two eggs, and we're ready to get started. So in order to do damage to the boss, instead of hitting the boss, you want to hit these eggs, as hitting the eggs will actually do damage to the queen. So you'll see every time we hit the egg, the queen will take a little bit of damage. Now, the difference with this team and the last team is we're running Bellina instead of Haste. This is going to allow us to kill these spiders a lot faster. So last time with Haste, we took a long time, and the boss gets stacks of attack every single time that they get a turn, which basically means you're screwed if you take too long. So you have to be really careful and kill all the ads first, and then hope to hell you can kill the boss. And it takes a long time. It's really tedious. This way is way faster. You just have to have the damage to be able to do it. So if you can't do it this way, that's fine. It's still possible the other way. But this is definitely my preferred method of the two. So we're going to keep working down these spiders. We've got immunity up. You do want to make sure that when the spiders get their ultimate skill, you do have immunity up. Because if you don't, or you don't have a cleanse, you're basically dead. Because they spray a poison on everybody that gives them an AoE slow. And if the first spider misses it, the second one's going to get it. So we can see when we did use Angelica's turn, we used her immunity. And we used burn and we burned into her immunity, giving her 4-turn immunity and 4-turn shield. So we're just chunking down these spiders, trying to do it as quick as possible. We don't want to kill them though. The goal of this run isn't to kill the spiders, it's to leave them alive and get the boss down to about 50% at the same time. I think we end up getting them down to like 40-ish% before chunking down the queen. If you watched last week's video, you're going to see how much smoother this runs. Like the last one, at the end of this video, there'll be like a little pop-up and it'll link you to the next, or to last week's video. So if you want to watch the other way, you can watch it there. Um, but you'll see how much smoother this one is because the last one came down to the very last attack. It was like a crazy nail biter. This one is much smoother. Definitely recommend it. So we've already got that first spider down to about 50%. That took us a long time last time. So now we really want to start working on the other one, get it a little lower. We actually started hitting the queen here a little bit because I noticed like if we kept hitting the spiders too much, we were going to kill the spiders before we ended up getting the queen down to 50%. And we actually want the spiders alive because like I said earlier, hitting the spiders does damage to the queen. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and get the other two eggs hatched, and then we're going to Archie, and the Archie is not only going to hit the queen, but it's also going to hit all 4 ads, which is going to do damage to the queen, plus the 4 ads, which will in turn do 4x damage to the queen as well. So we're just slowly working things down here. I'm trying not to hit with my skills that don't do damage, but then when the queen goes, we're trying to hit the queen. So Aether's turn again. You can see we would go straight for the queen there. We're ignoring the eggs. It's going to be the same thing here. Unfortunately, we don't have a defense break, and her defense break isn't up, but we keep going for her anyway. So we're back up to our immunity here from Angelica, and we're gonna burn back into it again because you can see these spiders have their ultimates ready. So we don't need to burn to get through this ultimate, but like little things like Clury getting stunned here, you want to try and avoid it. So we burn into this immunity. That gives us 4-turn immunity, which means we're immune to stun, we're immune to slow. This is that poison skill I was talking about with the spiders. The other spider's about to do theirs as well I think right after our Aether here. Oh no. It'll be Aether, then Bellina, and then the other spider. But it's totally crippling if you don't have a way to cleanse it or you don't have immunity. So we're just trying to think, or I'm trying to think, what I want to do here. I end up going for the boss. I'm really hoping to land that slow. She has a slow on her first skill, and we never land it. It would have been nice though if we had. Alright, so there's that slow. Luckily, it didn't land on the Clury, but we have immunity on the other 3, so even if it did, it doesn't really matter. Clury has a tendency to proc anyway and cleanse herself, which is nice. Alright, so you can see Angelica and Clury still hitting the spiders because they don't really do much damage anyway, and we don't want to get the boss counterattacking. Because the boss will counterattack you sometimes when you hit her. Come on, Clury. You got this. Apparently, Clury got tired and needed a break. I have no idea what I was thinking here. I'm assuming I was just talking to somebody in chat, or maybe somebody subscribed or something like that, and I was just thanking them. Come on, Clury, you got this. All right, there we go. So we hit that one, we hit the spider, and the dual attack from Bellina triggered, and then she procced into her defense break. Luckily, she defense braked all 3 units and didn't kill the spider. That's the one thing about using her that can be a little scary, is she could kind of mess things up from doing too much damage when you don't necessarily want her to. But in this case, it worked out okay. The spider's still alive. Again, we take a chunk out of the queen. We're getting pretty close here to 50%. So I think we chunk the queen one more time here with Bellina, and then that's it. Oh no. All right. Got an ad. Ignore the ad. There's my main account farming in the meantime. Unfortunately, it doesn't let us clear these ads. I wish it did. All right. We're back up. Yes, so we chunked the boss one more time. Now the boss is almost at 50%. So this is where we want to be careful. We want to get immunity up before the boss goes below 50%. So you can see we're actually going to start hitting the invulnerability. These guys don't do any damage, so I'm not too worried. But we start hitting the wasps until Angelica can get her immunity up. I'm a little worried about getting the boss under 50% and proccing it, but apparently we do it here anyway. So here, Bellina's turn. We must hit the, unless I mess this up. We hit the, yeah. So now we're checking. I'm like, okay, let's just hit the wasp nest. So we hit number 4 up there, I believe. Yep. So no damage is done. We're safe. And now Angelica, we thought could put up her immunity, but she can't. So instead of attacking anybody, we just keep attacking this thing, and it stops any damage from being done, which means the boss doesn't go under 50% and the eggs don't hatch. We still have one more turn of immunity. The reason we can get away with it, actually here is kind of clutch. I decide instead of hitting the hive to try and strip the boss. Because the boss has those 3 buffs. We don't strip anything, but we do land the defense break, which is very helpful in the end. And then she procs and we hit the hive again. So we just keep doing this. We can withstand this attack here. Not too big of a deal. And then now Angelica can put immunity up, and now we can put the boss under 50%. So I'm debating here whether we should burn into it or not. I end up not burning into it because I really want to save enough souls here that we can Archie as much as possible. We were a little fortunate in that the spiders didn't have their ultimates up, so I was less worried. It was nowhere close to being up, so I was less worried about them using their AoE slow on us. So now Bellina is up, and I'm debating just chunking her down or using her defense break. Pretty sure I use her defense break here, knowing that it's going to get the proc in and it's going to defense break, but I can't remember. I, for a brief second, thought about arcing, but I was like, no, we can't do that. We may as well put her under first and save our souls, right? Yeah. So we first skill, the boss does her big skill, which is hatching the eggs. So here comes the 2 wasps. And now we have 4 adds up, which if you don't kill them instantly, you're basically dead because that's way too much damage to absorb. But it's Clury's turn here, so we're going to jump on the Archie train. Archie's going to go crazy, do damage to all 5 of them, which is doing a crap ton of damage to the boss. You remember the boss was at 50% going into this attack? Watch the boss's HP after this Archie into all 4. So all of a sudden, down to 25%. Pretty big. The issue is we can't Archie 3 times. If we could Archie 3 times, this would be over, but we can't. So here, I believe we just see if we had that defense break, we could have just gone for the boss and then probably Archie, and that would probably be close to being enough. Unfortunately, we don't have it. Um, I don't remember what I did here, if I used the ultimate or if I used the first skill, but I don't think it really matters. I think I probably first skill. Basically, we're just trying to take a little bit of chunk out of the HP, checking the attack bars. Again, this is the only time this is only the second time I've ever done this, so I really wanted to make sure we were safe. I'm so torn right here. I'm like, do I Archie? Do I use her skill? Because I'd never tried it in this manner before. Luckily, it worked out. It was no big deal. But you can almost feel the hesitation. All right, so back at it. You don't want to burn here because you do want to save your souls just in case you need that Archie at the end. Come on, Aether. Get to work. We got people watching you. All right, so we do end up using her ultimate, which will give us a continuous heal, do a little more damage. I think I just did that because I was like, well, we're probably not going to end up defense breaking anyway, so we'll just go for it. So now all of their units get turns. We can't really do much here. Now it's Angelica's turn, and we're like, okay, like, is it really worth healing? That's our next debate here. Like, do we heal or do we Archie? This is kind of a good opportunity to Archie because she's not a damage dealer. Also, we can tell by looking at the attack bar that the queen is going next, and then the spider. So I'm like, well, is the queen going to do enough damage to Clury that it's worth healing now, or do we just Archie and go for it? I think next time I do this, I'll be a lot more assertive about it because I'll know exactly what I can do and what I can't do. It's funny looking back at it now because in the moment I feel like I'm rushing, but now it's like, oh my god, what do I do? So we end up doing the heal because the queen's going next, and if the queen attacks Clury and the Clury goes under 50%, then the queen gets to go twice. So we heal. This way it's safe. Now it's Clury's turn, and we can Archie again. So this is our second Archie now. And this one's going to kill the spiders, right? So the spiders being dead means that Arky's going to do a lot less damage now because if Arky goes, oh, the one spider's still alive, so still significantly less damage because the damage that would have been done to that spider won't be relayed to the queen. So now I'm feeling pretty comfortable. We just don't. If we had one more Arky, we could win this. We're one Arky away from finishing this, but we need 7 more souls. I don't think that I had seen at this point how many more souls I needed. I just knew I couldn't do it. Um, so Bellina goes to defense break, and we miss the defense break, which is a little disappointing. Now Aether, I was like, well, Aether could have done almost enough damage if we had defense broken. Still, we get a decent chunk in, and we get the team up from Bellina, which was nice, bringing the boss down really low. Uh, now Bellina's up. She procs into this defense break, which is great. Now the bees start going crazy. They're doing a bunch of damage here. I think this is where I realized that we're only 3 souls away from being able to Arky. 2 souls away. We really just have to not die at this point. So the queen went. We still have everyone alive, and Bellina gets the final blow. GG. We ended up getting another ML shard, or 1 ML bookmark, and that's how we wrapped things up. So relatively easy. We didn't lose anybody. It wasn't first run or anything, but it was my first time using that comp, and you could see how hesitant I was. So that was kind of, not too bad considering it was my first time with that comp. It'll be a lot faster next time. Also, I'm going to work on Bellina's gear. So I'm going to show you everybody's gear now. You can see here, Bellina's gear is not anywhere close to maxed. Her gear is actually quite bad. She has the Rosa Hargana artifact, but all of her gear is like all over the place. It's kind of plus 9-ish. She's on a crit damage set, which I really like, and she has a great piece of gear here. This crit damage piece of gear, I found it in the shop. It cost me a fortune in terms of gold, but I really like it. Crit chance, effectiveness, and HP, all things she needs, along with a crit damage main stat. Obviously, I wish the last one rolled into speed. We didn't get that lucky, but not too bad. I'm kind of trying to build her around this piece. That being said, the rest of the gear is kind of trash. So this one I haven't even touched yet. It's only plus 5. Her boots I need to replace because they did not roll very well. I was really hoping to get some crit rate on here or some effect. Well, we got the effectiveness, but I was really hoping to get crit rate. We didn't get it, especially because we're running a crit damage piece. We need crit rate the rest of the way. This piece here is really nice. Crit rate, crit damage, health, effectiveness. It's perfect for her. These ones we're going to have to change up. But as you can see by her stats, she only has 34% crit rate, which is awful. It's so, so, so bad. If you're going to run crit damage set, you have to crit. Otherwise, the crit damage set is wasted. Especially this piece here. We could have anything else on here because this is just completely wasted because she never crits. That being said, once we get up around that 80-90% crit rate mark, these stats are going to be amazing on her, and she's going to just crush people. But she's a work in progress. This is actually the first time I ever used her was there. Um, so I'm kind of happy with the way she performed, considering how bad her gear is. You basically, honestly, she would have done better even if I would have just turned this into either an attack piece or a crit rate piece. I just didn't change it for the run, but I could have done that, and it would have made the run even faster. Next up was my Guider Aether. I've put a lot of effort into her. Unfortunately, I had her on Daydream Joker, which is really nice for there. I'm gonna eventually take that off once I'm done Abyss, but for now, or sorry, yeah, once I'm done Abyss. For now, I'm gonna leave that on there because it's really helpful getting me through the bosses in Abyss. The whole right-hand side is maxed. She has these speed boots. Normally I would put her on attack boots, but this rolled really well. It's got crit chance and a high attack sub with HP and defense. Exactly what I wanted. Here, crit chance, HP, resistance, and crit chance main stat with defense, speed, and health. It worked out relatively well. She got 100% crit rate, 2800 attack, and the weapon and the chest are not even maxed yet. So I still have a lot of room for improvement on my Guide Aether, but she hits pretty hard, and she's got at least 8k health. She's relatively squishy, but with some of those substats, it gets her up to 8k, so not too bad. And I only have her skilled up to reduce her cooldown on her third skill as well. So she also has a lot of room for improvement. Third one on the team is Kluri. We've maxed her skill tree. So if you haven't already built Falcon or Kluri, once you do her specialty change, it does open up her skill tree. She's at plus 30. We've completely maxed that. As for her skill ups, she's only got 3. We did the 3 main ones here on her third skill, which makes it so that 1, her cooldown is reduced, and 2, she has a 100% chance to land. That's very, very important if you're going to use her. As for her gear, she's on HP, and speed. This speed piece rolled really well. 6 speed with 11 HP and 24 defense. Basically, I wanted speed, HP, and effectiveness on all spots. Still room for improvement. This one I need to get faster. I would even sacrifice the HP, but the first 3 stats, I went 636, and I was like, sweet. And then we got kind of screwed with the crit damage rolls after. But we'll improve that. I need to get her a little faster. I want to get her over 200 speed. She's at 191 right now, which is great, but there's always room for improvement. She's also on the Aureus artifact, which helps tank damage for the rest of the team. I think this is, oh no, it's not limit broken all the way. So we need to finish limit breaking that and get that up to level 30, and she'll be even stronger. And finally, the star of the show with the immunity was Angelica. So I had to switch Angelica to Candlestick. Candlestick isn't something that I would normally have on her, but I put it on her to reduce her cooldown because when we burn into her third skill, it gives us 4-turn immunity, which means 1 turn downtime on the immunity. But with Candlestick, hopefully one of those 4 turns, her Candlestick procs, and that reduces the cooldown, meaning she can have 100% uptime on her immunity. So that's why I have her on that. And she also is on speed, HP, and HP at 143 speed, 14,000 HP, and about 1,000 defense. So nothing too crazy, but it gets the job done. We also haven't maxed her gear either. We've got a lot of 6 stars, so we have a lot of gear we have to max, but it's slowly getting there. At least we got the 2 important ones done. I would like to max these boots, even though the rest of the substats aren't very good, but at least we got the 15% health, so we're going to max this out. Get the extra speed on there. We could really use it. And we'll go from there. So that's it for this video. I hope this helps you guys out. Don't forget the other video the other way. If you can't do it this way in terms of like a speed run, the other one should be like right about there somewhere. Also, one last thing before I let you guys go. Tomorrow, hopefully, or not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, hopefully we will be doing Abyss 80. So if you guys are stuck on Abyss 80, that's where we are for tomorrow. And at the end of it, we will probably have some summons because you do get 15 gold transmit stones at the end of it. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below if you have any questions or just if you want to say hello, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the Abyss 80 video. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night, and we will see you all next time.